Hi. So, I'm just going to do this video to show you what I do when I can feel my ego starting to take over. I have a lot to do before a certain time. So my ego mind is in a hyper stress mode for me. And it's showing, it's pointing out all the crap on the all this has to be clean, all this has to be done, and then the clock, it's 10 after 9. You understand. All right, so I think when this happens, I think a lot of people just kind of respond. They take that mental, all these thoughts going, and they think this is normal, and then they just allow that voice to make them, I'm just gonna tap, allow that voice to let them stress themselves out. And if I do that, if I allow that voice to take over, that ego mind voice to say, you have all this stuff to do, and look, it's like a mess, and you're never gonna finish by this time, and you have to leave in an hour, you get the whole idea of the story, and then I won't enjoy any of my day. Okay, so I use that as soon as I notice it. So I notice that this isn't fun and I'm stressed out. All right, so stress is the common denominator in every major illness. So I recognize that my ego mind is running the show, but again, I love my ego. All is done in love with love. So I listen to my ego. I know it's my ego talking though, because my soul doesn't give a crap about the time or the crap on the counter. It will all get done. Tomorrow's another day, and my soul wants peace. My ego is trying to keep me safe, sane, and secure, but it's giving me these stories that make my life less fun. All right, so because my life is a whole lot less fun, when that thought machine starts up, I know who's talking to me. It's my ego. Okay, so now I'm gonna mess with my ego. Like, I'm gonna F with my ego. I don't know how to say it in a way, but you get the idea. Like, my ego's like, you have to do all this, you have to clean all that. And so I'm deliberately gonna go like this right now, and I'm deliberately going to put my ego back in its place and reaffirm that I'm living a spirit-directed life, and that I refuse to take orders from my ego, just letting my ego know that it's not in charge. It's like and I know I have a lot of dogs, so if I put it in dog terms, it's easiest for me. So hopefully this is understandable. But when you have 4 dogs or more, it's a pack, and there has to be an alpha. And so the alpha dog keeps the other dogs in place. Like, when the other dogs kind of get uppity, the alpha will do something to let them know it's in charge. And so that's what my spirit's going to do right now to my ego. All right, so I need to stretch, and I'm releasing the stress out of my body. That the thoughts, my ego mind thoughts, so the thought machine that started up and started pointing out all this crap, started telling stories and all this stress. So all this stress in my mind creates anxiety in my body. It creates, stress in the body. So I stop what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna reaffirm that I'm living a spirit-directed life, put my spirit in charge, listen to my ego. Remember, my ego is this little manager from this little satellite office somewhere in the middle of the country. That office, we're never going to shut it down. Maybe when I started this is not real, but just to give you the perspective, let's say I'm a CEO of my own major corporation, which is myself. And when I started this corporation, I started with this little tiny field office in my hometown, and that little home office means a lot to me. I'm never going to shut it down. It doesn't make any money. Maybe it loses a little money here or there. That is my ego. So my ego is the manager of that satellite office in the middle of the country in my old hometown where, I still listen to that manager, but I don't need that office to make any money for me. Okay. So that's how I see my ego. My ego is just that manager of a little satellite office out somewhere, and it doesn't need to make a profit. I'm never going to shut it down. Okay, so I'm always going to listen to that manager, but I'm going to keep it in perspective. Okay, so I put or you can imagine the little fluffy animal in my right palm, a little tiny fluffy animal. But in a case like this, I like to think of it as a manager that's far away, that in an office I'm never going to shut down. All right, so still listening to it. It still wants to tell me all these stories about that I'm behind, or I have so much to do and I don't have enough time to do it all in. All right, so I acknowledge that voice of my ego, but I put my spirit back in charge, and I'm clearing out the stress in my body, because if I move forward in my day, taking directives from the voice of my ego, I'm not going to get as much done. Number one. Number two, I'm not going to enjoy my life. And what is the point? If I'm not enjoying my life and I'm just living, on a treadmill and I'm stressing out, then my mind is easily programmed by any kind of crap that, comes at me. Oh, did you hear this? Did you hear that? So people are taking in information that is misinformation. Well, it starts as disinformation, then it becomes misinformation because other people are passing along lies, actually. Yeah, I'm going to do a video at some point about 4chan and Pepe. There's a green frog and the frog god. It all goes together, and my son is in school, and the kids in this school are told they're not allowed to use Pepe, the green frog, who's a symbol of Kekistan, and it's a 4chan thing, and it's all a joke, and they're told that this frog is a racist hate symbol. And it's not at all. It's just a 4chan thing. And so the people in school are actually teaching that this green frog is a racist hate symbol. And the people who are telling these kids that, they don't know what's true. They have no idea. They could have done 5 minutes of research and found out what it is and what it means and what it's connected to, but they chose not to. And now they're spreading this. It's disinformation, misinformation. They're not doing it on purpose. They're just trying to. It's just like people who are not taking control of their lives and putting their spirit in charge, and they're letting the voice of their ego run them around. They are staying stressed. They're keeping their lives this stressful, constant motion. They're getting programmed by any kind of a thing. They don't even question this green cartoon frog as a racist hate symbol. They don't even question that. They just say, okay, that's true. Let's spread that all around. It's like, it's not, it's funny to me, because I don't watch television, and so other people are my source of entertainment. The reason I started doing Renegade Yogi is to show people a different way. You don't have to live like that. You don't have to let your ego run your whole existence where you're like this, and then you can't relax until you have a glass of wine in your hand or some kind of an alcohol. And that's no diss. I drink sometimes, but there's a different way to live. You can catch yourself when you're in that ego mindset of running, and that's stress in your body. That's pulling stress. And when you're doing that, when you're allowing that, because you choose. There's two simultaneous realities going on all the time. There's my ego reality going on all the time, and there's my soul reality going on all the time. Where I put my conscious awareness is the existence I'm going to live. So my kitchen hasn't changed. I haven't cleaned it, okay? But my experience of my own life has changed, because as soon as I recognized that my ego was trying to run the show, I stopped and I said, no, that's not the reality that I'm going to put my conscious awareness in. I'm not going to play in the ego sandbox right now. I'm going to reset and realign and let my spirit run the show. So we all have this choice. Every second of your life, you have this choice. Which reality are you going to play in? There's obviously more, and the time that I saw the multi dimensions of one life all happening at the same time was like really profound for me and mind-blowing for me. But it started with just understanding this, that there are two simultaneous realities. Of course, there's more than two, but for me right now in this moment, and for you right now in this moment, there's two realities that you can choose to pay attention to. An ego reality of stress, fear, not good enough, never good enough, not going to get enough done, and need to like get to the next. What's the next? Or the soul reality that's like, I'm in the world but not of it. If I died right now, and the house is a mess or the dishes aren't done, that's okay. But how can I enjoy being in the world but not of it more? What can I enjoy more? How can I enjoy more? Okay, so in a spirit-driven life or spirit-directed life, I feel my feelings to release them. My ego's giving me credible information. You have to do this. You have to, you have to. The soul says, well, you get to. You could. I could wash the dishes. I could clean the kitchen. But I could also meditate instead. That's a valid choice. I could do a whole bunch of things. The ego says there's only one right way, and if you're not doing it exactly right, the ego keeps you in a stress mode. All right. So by noticing that my ego was starting to take over my mind, I just stopped. And now I'm going to tap, and I'm still clearing out the stress because my ego, with those thoughts, telling me all these stories in my head, my body responded to these stories. Okay, my body. So what's happening in my mind affects my physical body. So physical, mental, emotional, spiritual planes of existence, all four happening all at once. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So mentally, I was in my ego was taking over, and eventually it affects my physical body. My physical body, my heart rate was up. I didn't check it, but I'm sure it was up. I was feeling squeezed, stressed. Okay, that for me, physical manifestations, that told me that my ego was in charge at that moment. So then I stop and I realign with the reality that I want to, the spiritual reality. Okay? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Now, if I'm enjoying an emotion, then I'm going to use my conscious awareness to direct my reality. Which plane of existence do I want to play on? If I'm enjoying an emotion, then I'm going to direct my conscious awareness to the emotional plane. So when you see a video or you see a movie that makes you so happy or whatever, I'm directing my conscious awareness to the emotional plane at that time. All right, so I don't want to stay constantly at the spiritual plane of existence all the time. If I go in the classroom and I'm having fun with the kids, I'm not going to go in like some 2,000 vibrational conscious, super conscious being and that'd be boring. I want to enjoy my time with kindergartners or first graders or preschoolers. I'm going to enjoy. I teach them, meditation or whatever, but when I first go in, I'm like, yay. Or when I'm doing an activity with them that it's fun, I'm enjoying being with the kids. I'm not going to just stay like this all the time. Okay. So you get it. So I get to choose. Where's my conscious awareness? Which plane of existence do I want to play in now? All right. So the ego reality is always happening. At the same time, the spiritual reality is always happening. So I'm just sort of right now taking the time to show my ego who's boss and that everything's okay, and I'm just stretching and squeezing out all the stress that my physical body responded with when my ego started telling me stories, fight, flight, freeze, and my autonomic nervous system went into the sympathetic mode, fight, flight, or freeze. That's going to release adrenaline, cortisol. It's really only meant for short bursts, so that just showed me this is where you are right now. Okay, I'm not mad at myself for getting there. I'm just going to change it because I don't want to stay there. And I'm not running from a tiger, and I don't really need it. I don't need to be stressed right now at 9:25 a.m. I don't need to be stressed right now. So thank you for the information, body, ego. Thank you for the information, body and ego. And now I'm going to realign spirit-directed life. And now my mind calms down, especially tapping. So I love tapping. We know I love tapping. I'm just going to tap. Tap and stretch. You can pace, but sometimes pacing makes you stay in stress. Tap. Whatever it takes, whatever you can do. I'm getting all the adrenaline and cortisol out of my body. I'm going back to the parasympathetic mode of rest and digest. You could also think of it as I'm mentally telling myself the story that I have all the time I need to get everything done that I need to get done. Tapping, usually you balance out the stress statement or the negative statement with I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So that's always good. You can always affirm that. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Just calming my mind, calming my body, shifting from flight, fight, or freeze to rest and digest. I'm putting my spirit back in charge of my existence. I'm calming my mind. That's going to give me access to higher level thinking, higher level awareness. And I'm starting to come out of the fog. I'm coming out of the fog like, I'm fine. I can clean up all this stuff, whatever. I'm going to do a better job if I'm calm. If my mind is calm, I have access to higher level thinking. It also shuts down. No one can program me. They can't program me with this crap that all these people are getting programmed by. And it's their choice to keep. If you're staying in fight, flight, or freeze, if you're staying at 100 fear vibration, you're watching the news, and you're like, yes, this is true. Yes, this green cartoon frog is a racist symbol of hate. It's true, it's all true, because everybody says so. That's a valid way to live. You are well within your rights to allow people to program you with whatever they want and to keep you in fight, flight, or freeze and to keep you at a fear level 100 vibration and keep you marching and hating other people and seeing other people. They're racist. You see them, they're there's those people over there, they're this. Yes, it's true. That's a totally valid way to live. It's not the way I want to live. And I'm sure probably none of those people are watching this channel. But if I react to those people over there who are reacting to those people over there, and I say those people are bad because they're programmed and they listen to the news and they think Pepe's a racist, they're idiots, whatever. Remember, if I say they're stupid or you fool, it's happening inside me to the water in my body. If I say those people, I hate those people, or those people are hateful, if I point over there and I say those people are hateful, the water in my body responds to whatever I'm saying about them. Okay, that's why there's that expression. One finger you point that way, there's three pointing back at you. All these expressions are true. Everything hateful that you say about them, your water in your body, it creates disharmony in your own body. So I don't hate those people who are programmed because I hurt myself. I'm not going to judge them. I just bless, forgive, respect their free will choice to be programmed and to also hate or to see hate in other people. I just bless, respect it, and forgive it, and I love them anyway, because if I don't, I hurt myself. I don't live the life that I want. So if I'm looking at hateful behavior and I go, oh, what a shame, it's so terrible, I'm hurting myself. I'm hurting myself. So by blessing, forgiving, respecting, and loving all of them, no matter who they are, no matter what they're doing, I keep it outside of my little peaceful, loving corner of the universe. Okay, so I'm just living in my corner of the universe. I raise my vibration as much as I possibly can, and then that's how I most positively affect the world. It's the only thing I have any kind of control over. There isn't really any control, but that's the way I choose to live my life. My higher vibration is what helps in the highest best of all, but it also allows me to live in the world but not of the world. It allows me to be a spiritual being, consciously choosing which plane of existence I'm going to direct my awareness of. You know, when you're dead, when you're in spirit, you don't have all these things. You don't have a physical body anymore. You can't go out to eat. You know, there's no going out to eat anymore. You don't manifest anymore. You can help from over there. There's stuff you can do after you die. Yeah, you can continue relationships with people who are still on the physical plane. But in the physical world, we get to hug each other, we get to kiss, we get to go out to lunch, we get to manifest. We get to do all this like incredibly cool stuff. We get to I get to talk to people on the other side of the world. It is so neat. I don't want to be over there, but I do love to talk to those people. I love to see what they're doing. I like to hear them. I love what I get to do. Now, I get to talk to dead people too, and that is awesome. But I will be dead soon enough, hopefully not for a long time, but while I'm here, living in the world, but not of it, is the most incredible experience that I could possibly have. The more conscious that I can be, and the more high vibrational I can be, the more power I give my spirit over the physical world. The more power I give my spirit, and this is my meat suit, and I enjoy my meat suit, my soul's car to drive around, or whatever. So this limit. So there was one of the kids that died on December 14th of 2012. I don't recommend doing this, but I let him. It's called I channeled him a lot for his mom. So I had a very close relationship with this child that passed, first grader. And then, so we were in very close communication for a while. I went to his house to talk to his mom one time. And I said to him, you know, if you want, you can do a voluntary possession, which I've only done it with this one kid ever, and I probably will never do it again. Anyway, I said, you know, do you want to pet your dogs? Because they had dogs. Do you want to go there? Do you want to go in your house? You know, whatever. All he wanted to do during this voluntary possession was to feel the limits of a physical body again. And so even though he was, you know, sharing sort of my physical body, I could feel what he felt. So when he was stretching, it felt so good. But in spirit form, without a physical body, there is no stretching because there are no limits. So it was interesting to me that all he wanted to do was feel the physical limits of a physical body and then push it and feel the stretching. All right, so that's why dogs stretch. So many animals stretch. They get it. So stretch more. My enlightened teachers, they stretch all the time. They're always stretching. Stretch. Enjoy your physical body because you're going to leave it someday. So enjoy your physical body. My physical body doesn't enjoy the stress. I do know humans that do enjoy stress. One was an old air traffic controller, and he was like popping Tums for the rest of his life, but he loved the stress of air traffic control. He loved it. So he was enjoying his physical life with that stress. And sometimes stress can be enjoyable. It's fun, like if you're racing or if you're doing some kind of a thing. But then, consciously bring yourself back to where you want to be. Where do you want to be? So my ego was running the show for a few minutes. And then I say, no. So then I stop and I just make this video instead. And I just put my ego in its place. Like my spirit is the alpha. No, not doing that. We're not living like that. No. Spirit's back in charge. Tap to clear, calm the amygdala down, calm my brain down. Now I have access to higher level thinking. Now no one can program me. If somebody tells me something ridiculous, I can look it up, or I could just say, no, I can feel it's not true. All right. Love you. Have a great day. Thank you.